What is up, everyone? You're listening to the Friends in the Wild podcast. I'm one half, Laura Grace.
And I'm the other, Mally.
Grace.
Grace. That's so true.
You haven't changed your name legally since being wed, correctly?
Correctly.
Correctly.
Stand on business. Yeah, no, I haven't.
I'm clocking that.
Are you clocking that?
I'm clocking it.
Am I on the clock?
When you change your name, are you going to drop Grace?
I think so.
Are you?
I don't know. Why do we have to talk about this? Starting off on a sour note.
That's just a question I had in mind.
It's just a question. Next question.
You have a piece of fuzz on your mic. I don't want to have that messing up.
Oh no, it was fuzz. I thought it was a dust bunny.
Or like a piece of like yarn or something.
Yarn, yeah.
So anyway, what have you been into?
Oh, nothing. I've just been working. Oh, Colin and I did go to Savannah. Let me give you a little recap. In the absence of our half marathon, I had already taken off work, and I wasn't about to call them up and say, oh, I can work. No. I said, we'll just go somewhere else. So Colin, our schedules aligned pretty nicely, which is such a rare occasion that we decided we had to go out of state. So I had never been to Savannah, and Colin had been, so we decided that it'd be the perfect time to go. So we went, and it was literally so hot. First of all, I didn't know Savannah was so compact and that we would be walking to literally everything. So I took Birkenstocks and just another pair of Birkenstocks. So my feet were crying and screaming for help, but it was so pretty. I really loved it. It's like Charleston, but they have like their different quirks. I was telling Colin, like, the buildings and stuff right on the river remind me of like books about New York sweatshops. They're just like so gloomy and moody. Like Uprising, it reminds me of that movie or that book, sorry.
I kind of agree with you. I think Savannah, I always feel like people compare it to Charleston. And I think it's much moodier than Charleston.
Yeah, and Charleston's like known for its, literally Rainbow Row, but it's known for its bright colors and stuff. But Savannah's just like, it's like the older sister. She's just like a little more moody.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
She's kind of
maybe like serious.
Yeah.
Maybe like
she's seen some stuff,
Yeah. She really has. So it was really fun. We did a riverboat tour because Colin, I asked him if he wanted to go on a ghost tour. He said I would rather go on a history tour. So we took a riverboat tour where they had like an hour-long narrated history lesson. It was actually really nice. It was really fun. If it wasn't 6,000 degrees though, it was pouring and storming, storms I've never seen in my entire life.
Yeah, that's how it was the one day I was in Savannah.
So, it was fun, but also, like, there's not really a lot you can do indoor, because you've got to, like, walk to everything. So that was kind of not the most fun, but it was really nice. We went to, like, the farmer's market on Saturday, and did a little bit of shopping. Just had a really nice time. It was just a really good weekend away.
It looked like you had a blast.
We did.
And I was really excited for you.
Tennis shoes.
Yeah, she got some Dr. Scholl's. Yeah. Dr. Scholl's is making a comeback.
Yeah, because my feet are just so sensitive. I have really high arches. So I needed something to support that.
Do you feel like it's kind of a flex to have really high arches?
Not really. My feet hurt constantly.
Oh, I also have on the beach, you can barely see my middle part of my foot, and I'm like, yeah,
like my foot is so skinny.
I'm a really high arch,
Yeah, do your feet not hurt?
No, not really.
Like, I can't really walk barefoot in my house. I've got to have a shoe on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't walk barefoot that often just because I don't like the feeling of stuff on my feet, unless it's outside. Inside, I hate the feeling of because inside you feel like it's crumbs and stuff.
Oh, I'm a rat.
Yeah.
Why is there stuff on my floor?
Yeah, stuff that isn't supposed to be there, but outside it's like dirt, so,
It's meant to be there.
Yeah. And you're grounding. You're connecting with the earth.
Yeah. Literally grounding.
Which does lead us into the topic that we're going to be discussing today. I feel like that's kind of an Appalachian, folklore kind of thing is grounding.
Okay.
Sort of.
Sure.
So today we are going to be discussing, I do have a little bit more to talk about as far as life updates go.
Okay.
But we will be talking about sort of paranormal activity in Appalachia, stories we've heard our entire lives, things that we've always heard are bad omens or bad luck, and sharing a little bit of Appalachian wisdom and cautionary tales, if you will.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I've started watching or listening to Crime Junkie again. So my mental health is probably about to go down the toilet.
Maybe.
But I love stuff like this. I love true crime. I love stories that you're just like, that's insane. Why did that happen? I'm going to eat that up. So I'm really excited for this episode.
We were going to do a local true crime episode,
which I have to say was inspired by Renee.
Shout out Renee.
Loyal listener. She was saying that we needed to do that.
But we discovered that our town is just much too small, and we know everyone who, or know their family. So it would be a little disrespectful, maybe.
Yeah.
To talk about that.
Let's talk about people we don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's what weirds me out about true crime in general. Is those are real people that died, and their families are still around. It feels kind of spooky and
disrespectful.
Yeah, it's kind of icky.
That's why I always I hate documentaries. I love them, but I hate documentaries about serial killers and stuff, because I'm like, why are we glamorizing the actual villain of the story and not the innocent lives that were taken?
Especially the movies, like the Ted Bundy movie and the Jeffrey Dahmer movie. I hate that they did that.
Exactly what they want. They wanted to be known. They wanted to be remembered,
to be
and
infamous.
We're just feeding into that. Unfortunately, I know it's like a car wreck. You can't look away, and it's going to get attention. So I do hate that. And I will say the one thing I like about Crime Junkie is they do focus on unsolved cases. They're genuinely trying to advocate for cases that are still unsolved. And they have actually solved a couple cases through their podcast, which is pretty insane.
It is really cool.
But yeah, that's the one thing I do hate about true crime. But I eat that stuff up. Even the shows like Criminal Minds. Yeah.
Criminal Minds is so good, but it freaks me.
It's literally twisted.
I actually really have to protect my peace and not do any of that. I love it. While I'm watching it, I'm so zoned. It's the only thing that you're so zoned into. When
you can't miss a detail.
You can't. And my mom loves NCIS, which honestly isn't as bad. And Criminal Minds, Bones, all that stuff, because she's like, it's the one thing that I can just, it pulls you in so much that you really do forget about, all your stresses in life.
Yeah, it really does.
And we're you forget about all your stresses by literally listening to people scream
her head
for their
was
life.
Cut off. Her guts were out.
Her eyeballs were cut off. Yeah.
I'll just listen to that.
But it's kind of a shame, because there are some great very sad, very horrible, very tragic stories that have happened around here.
Yeah, some very interesting ones, unfortunately. One more thing about Criminal Minds, though. I'm pretty sure all those episodes are inspired by true cases.
I know.
Terrifying, because they are so
sadistic. It's awful.
It's insane to think that could have happened to some degree.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What's the Criminal Mind? I think we might have talked about this on the podcast before, but what's one that sticks out the most to you?
I don't know right off the top of my head. What's yours?
Mine is the guy who kidnapped the women and turned them into puppets. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I've seen them all. Except, after... I don't want to ruin it. After so many seasons, I kind of just dialed back, because I was having horrific nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then another one is the one where there's twin girls, and one of them just got engaged, I think, and she is on a date with her fiance. They're leaving the date place. They're driving home. They come up behind, I almost can't tell this story. They come up behind this truck that's just stopped in the road, and he goes out to check on actually it's freaking me out. He goes out to check on the person in the truck, and no one's in there. So he gets back in, and his window's down. he gets back in and he turns to her and he's like, there's no one in there. And then she, like, her face looks so scared. And then there's a gun right there. He shoots him and then takes her. And it ends up, he's like obsessed with her and her sister.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And he's like an insider in the FBI. Oh, it makes me sick.
Also, I think of the cornfield one. Do you remember the one of them, like,
vaguely
running through the cornfield? Anytime there's a
I remember
cornfield.
that, but I don't remember what happens.
Me either, but I think it had something to do with pigs.
Yes, he feeds them to the pigs.
No, okay. We've got to stop.
I know, I'm actually freaking myself out. And we're not even to the meat and potatoes, as I used to say. Isn't it crazy that our podcast has been around long enough to where I can say, I used to always say on the podcast.
I used to say that back when I was young.
Yeah.
And naive. Yeah, it is crazy.
I know. Anyway, though, a little bit about what I've been up to recently. I am almost done with my second internship of the summer, which is really exciting. And then I'll have a week or two before I go back to school to chill, which, again, I'm very excited about. This past weekend, I attended the very first Major League Baseball game that's ever been played in Tennessee. And as you guys may have heard,
both of them.
It was held at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, this has really drummed up some controversy because on Saturday night, everybody was there. It was literally packed. Tim McGraw plays. Pitbull's on the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a pregame concert. It was Tim McGraw. He was really good.
Holy cow.
But it was pouring down raining, so we could barely hear him. Pitbull is up on the stage for they said Pitbull was going to play. He was actually on stage for 30 seconds.
Okay.
I know. And sang a little bit of I like it, I love it. Because that song says, I ain't seen the Braves play a game.
Oh, yeah.
Here. Anyway. So, all is well. They sing the national anthem. They throw out, I think one at bat happens. Someone bats and gets out or whatever. And then the game is postponed for rain because it is pouring down. The sky proceeds to open up and torrentially downpour for the next 6 hours, and we're all just chilling.
Wait, you all sat there for 6 hours?
Well, everybody was underneath, but the stadium at Bristol has holes in it and stuff. It's not nice. No offense to Bristol, but it's not like a Major League Baseball stadium. Yeah. It's a racetrack, So it's the water is fully coming through these holes. It's not even dry where we are, And literally people are there forever and ever and ever and ever. In such close quarters, everybody's huddled under there. They ran out of food before even the game started. They ran out of food. They had a hot dog stand and they ran out of buns hours before the game. They ran out of all the t-shirts hours before the game. I am so pro people doing good stuff like that, bringing business to Tennessee, whatever. However, it might have been good idea, bad execution.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rain. They couldn't help the rain, but that was definitely part of it. But we sit there for hours, and then eventually they say, literally hours later, we're going to do this tomorrow at 1 p.m. So we're all okay. Everybody starts walking to the car. Me and my family was there, and then Ryan's family was also there. And we decided to ride back with Ryan's family. Well, it turns out their part's 1.6, we discovered, miles away. And it's raining. So at this point, I've stolen Ryan's rain jacket. He's in a tiny little poncho. We're trudging through, And so we had an adventure that night. And then the next day we went, and the game ended up being awesome. They had all of this. Really? Yeah. Whenever someone hit a home run, they had a race car that went around the track.
That's cool.
It was really cool. The actual game was very well thought out. There was lots of crowd involvement. Everyone did the wave. It made me so happy. So it ended up being great, but that's just my 2 cents on it. They might have been a little unprepared. However, I still support them.
Everyone went.
Yeah.
So it looked like a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Do you think there'll be another?
Probably in Nashville. Not? I don't know. They've talked about bringing a Major League Baseball team to Nashville, but I don't really want them to because that'll divide Braves country. You know, I kind of like that most people in the South are Braves fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
It unites us.
Your heartstrings would be pulled.
Yeah. They were going to be like the Nashville Stars or something, which is just
boring.
Boring.
How about the Cowboys or something?
Yeah.
Ranchers.
Well, there's the Nashville Sounds, the minor league team. Okay. What would be a good MLB team name for a team in Nashville? What about like the Straits, like named after George Strait? He's kind of a Texas guy, though.
He is a Texas. Actually, my dad was saying he will not join the Grand Ole Opry because he doesn't want to travel to Nashville as often as it requires. Because you have to go to the Opry so many times per year, or like for so long.
That's an interesting tidbit.
So I don't think they would name him the Straits because George Strait isn't even an Opry member.
Yeah. Maybe the Opries.
Maybe the Partons. The Nashville Partons.
But this is seeming more like a minor league team. The major league ones are kind of like more serious, you know?
Okay. Bobby, that's on me.
The Guitars.
The Broadway. The Broadways.
The Broadways. Yeah, these are horrible. We're not very good at this. Don't come calling.
That's probably why there's not an
MLB they can't think of a good name. That's probably it.
We cracked it.
So anyway, it was a blast. And then I do need to shout out my little cousin Henry. I was just teaching his older sister Anna, who we all know and love, to embroider because the Appalachian Fair is coming around and she's entering stuff in the fair in the 4-H building, which is so sweet. But yeah, I was teaching her to embroider at my house, and Henry really wanted to come with me to the podcast, and of course I said he couldn't because this is a serious place.
He's got to grow up a little.
And when I was leaving, he said, Grace, I just wanted to come and listen, but I guess I can't. I said,
no, you're evil.
I said, no, you can't, but I will shout you out on the podcast.
Hey, Henry.
So, hey, Henry.
Thanks
we love
for your
you.
Support.
Sometimes whenever he takes my phone or like someone's phone, he just randomly turns on the podcast, like just in a group of people on full blast, and then he'll be like playing a game and it's just going out for everyone.
Valid. Like, why aren't more people doing that?
Turn this off, actually.
No. It's time we reach an audience that we haven't met yet. And that's 6-year-olds.
Yeah. Maybe this podcast would be good for 6-year-olds.
Yeah, it's like the same IQ.
So. You're so right. 6, 7. We should start saying 6, 7 all the time. What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
That's the new, like, English or Spanish. Did you hear about that? It's just brain rot humor.
No.
I have no idea what it means.
I'm trying to prevent my brain from rotting.
But, like, middle school classrooms and elementary school classrooms have banned the phrase 6, 7, which is weird because they have to learn to count.
That's going to really bite them in the butt. I will say, speaking of brain rotting, my favorite brain rot activity right now is watching every single Alexander Hamilton TikTok edit to the musical. People are so funny, and I hate that people are funnier than me, but they are
hilarious.
People are genuinely the funniest humans to exist, and I'm so envious of those select people, like that blonde-headed girl that's doing them.
The blonde-headed girl. If you haven't seen this, girls like our age are just dressing up and doing their like a beard and stuff to look like Alexander Hamilton and reenacting parts of the musical, particularly parts where he clearly hates Eliza, his precious wife. And their mannerisms are just hilarious.
It's so funny. And I wish I would have thought of it first.
Yeah.
I wish I was that funny.
Me too.
But anyway, should we dive in?
We should.
Okay.
Let me grab my phone. So, we're going to talk a little bit about just like general stories we've heard. And then I think Mally has a story, sort of like a paranormal activity story that she's seen. We have some stuff from the internet, from our own personal lives. But Mally, do you believe in witchcraft?
I'm so scared to answer that question. Like that, do you believe in ghosts and stuff? I'm afraid if I say yes, one's going to haunt me.
If you say no, they won't haunt you?
I'm just trying to ignore it. Like,
okay.
Just stay peaceful with everything.
Yeah.
I think there's some questionable things that have happened to where it's like, okay, how is this not, you know?
Mm-hmm. If you do believe in paranormal activity, do you believe that the Appalachian Mountains are haunted?
I'm sure there's definitely some. It's just so remote that there's got to be some.
And parts of it, like up, particularly when I'm driving from like Lexington to Charlottesville in Virginia, those mountains are so dense and like just wild, you know? That I'm like, I understand how people can just disappear.
Yeah. No, even like just driving back from Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
Those they're so steep and just if you've never seen mountains before and you come for the first time, I can see how you'd be terrified to drive on them.
Yeah.
It's so scary if you're not used to that. But yeah, I definitely see how like you can live a completely remote life and not have to interact with anyone ever.
Yeah.
Living in areas of that nature.
You understand how people disappear from the Appalachian Trail, like semi-regularly.
Oh yeah.
I kinda, I want nothing to do with it, and I believe in the power of prayer over it.
Whenever people ask me that question, I'm like, oh, I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
Yeah, I literally rebuke this.
Yeah.
But the Bible says, try the spirits to see if they are of God or good
believe
or
in the
whatever.
Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
And His Spirit.
I honestly, like, I do kind of believe in it. I think maybe, never mind. I don't want to say, I don't want to, like, speculate and then have a target on my back from the spirits, but the evil spirits.
Yeah. It's just so scary. I don't want to know for sure.
No.
Just like leave me.
I want to stay. I do not mess with that stuff. You'll never catch me with a Ouija board.
Oh, heck no.
You will never catch me.
I ain't doing Bloody Marys in the bathroom.
No. In the Rogersville City School bathroom, the old gym bathroom. That place is creepy.
We go by a haunted house, I'm going to say, okay. And next. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to whoever is there. Don't call my name. Don't call their name. Keep driving.
Yeah, I do fully believe in it. The thing that has kind of sparked this, what sparked it for you?
TikTok. I saw a TikTok about it.
About just like the Appalachian Mountains being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. People think that or people have heard that if you hear like whistling in the mountains, if you hear women screaming in the mountains, if you hear your name, you just ignore it. You do not
if anyone yells at you, you just don't answer back.
Yeah. Have you heard that growing up? Those kinds of things?
No, but the lady the story I'll tell, they were all like, do not ever yell back to a voice that you hear. Ugh.
I think some of that is just like very practical because, first of all, the Appalachian Mountains have been like, parts of the Appalachian regions have just been super poor and like crime riddled forever. So you just don't want to have a target, like
ruffle any feathers out there.
Or I've heard like people on the internet saying that they have always heard not to whistle after dark. And I feel like that's just like not to draw attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's for like mountain lions or whatever, or people that may be looking to rob you or whatever. And also, foxes and coyotes sound like women screaming after dark.
Terrifying. And I hear them here at my parents, like when I lived here with my parents, all the time. And it's like make you sit straight up in your bed and your heart is racing. There's been several times I've been like, Dad, I don't know, but there is a woman outside. And he's like, Mally, that's a fox. Yeah. It is the most terrifying sound in the world.
I completely agree. And coyotes, when there's a whole bunch of them, it's just like tons of screams.
I wonder what a wolf sounds like. Because you know the saying, she cried wolf? I mean, I get it that like, she's saying, oh, there's a wolf. Yeah. But like, I wonder if wolves sound like.
I thought wolves just like howl. But they probably have another, they have like a mating sound.
Yeah. Or like an injured sound. I'm glad we don't have wolves.
Like a woman screaming too.
It's so scary.
Yeah. Ugh. So I do kind of believe in the witchcraft paranormal side of it, but I also do think that some of that is just, first of all, to scare people, to scare the younger generations, and second of all, it's sort of practical. But I've always heard, my mama grew up in Hancock County, and I feel like to us, to a lot of people, even people who like now live in Hancock County, that's like a place of legend, you know, like grew up across the mountain in Hancock County. Um, and there's just all of these like little hollers that some of them see the sunlight for like 3 hours a day because they're just so down in there, covered up. And my mama has always told stories about witchcraft happening in the mountains that she like saw and heard about her whole life. One of them is that I think this was actually my papa's cousin or brother or something who says he actually witnessed this. Someone who was like known to be a witch, and it was always the women that were known to be the witch, whipped a table, and the table like stood up, and the arms were like, it was standing up like a human, like the arms were moving about like a human's arms, and it like walked across the room. They whipped a table and made it walk. And I was telling my mom we were doing this episode, and she was Googling that, and apparently it's like somewhat well known of a trait of like certain, yeah, like witchcraft behaviors following people. Yeah. Which is
I've never heard of that one.
There's a few more things that I've always heard. One of them is this person who she knows apparently they were interested in witchcraft and bought this book. And, you know, then you had to like order a book and whatever. I don't exactly know how you got a book in 1930, but got this witchcraft book. And that night, they say they don't know if they were dreaming or if they were awake, but they saw the devil, like literally a little red person with horns and a flame tail. And they didn't know if they were dreaming or if they were awake, but they got up and threw that book instantly into the fireplace, into the like heat stove.
When they woke up, was it gone?
I don't know the ins and outs of this story, but isn't that crazy?
Yeah. There's no ounce of me that's interested in trying that.
One more story that I'll tell that I heard from my mama is about a rampant spirit. So apparently, I don't know, I should have asked my brothers because they remembered this one more than I did. But apparently there was some person who, I don't know where the spirit came from, but they were like, they had an evil spirit in them. And apparently they were found in the attic of their house one day, sitting and like rocking back and forth. They were like, what is it called when you have
psychosis? Like they're just mental break, mania.
What am I thinking of? Like, why do you have to have an exorcism?
They have like,
not hypnotized. What is it called?
What, exorcised? For an exorcism?
Yeah, but like, what's it called when a spirit takes over your body? There's a word for this. Anyway, a spirit took over their body.
I know what you're trying to say.
We'll think of it eventually. And everybody was like, what do we do? What do we do? And then eventually someone said, bring light up there. And that they didn't, I don't think they had electricity at this time, but someone like brought enough candles to where it was light enough. And then the light like drew the spirit away.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Ugh.
And another thing I'll say is, these people didn't have like TV. They didn't have the same forms of entertainment as we did. Mm-hmm. So I feel like some of this is like folklore that they used as entertainment. But then I also don't want to invalidate their experiences.
No, you're extremely valid. Don't worry about that here.
We believe you.
Yeah. No, I have zero doubts in my mind.
Yeah.
Also, I would think that this has become a bigger topic when the floods happened.
Yeah.
After the Hurricane Helene, like, destroyed the Appalachian mountains and Asheville and into like Elizabethton and the Upper East Tennessee area, a lot of people began telling stories about things like that. So I think that also just re-sparked like interest in people sharing their stories. Also, I think that just like you were saying, the nature of crimes, like people being genuinely evil, play into it as well, making it just like even more of an eerie place.
Yeah.
I think it's just even more scary because you're just so desolate. Like, you're so alone when you're in there. Ugh.
And there's so many more, like, there's so much more crime in this area than maybe not like Memphis, but just this is something that is completely factual that you can take to kind of understand this. I've been working in the Eastern District of Tennessee in the Greenville Division, and out of all of the Eastern Tennessee divisions, there are 3 of them. One of them is Chattanooga, which is like people view as a crime riddled area. The Greenville Division has the most crime, specifically drug crimes, out of all of East Tennessee. Yeah. Wow. And they're like, we don't really know why. Maybe it's like this, the interstates intersecting, like 40 and 75, right on the edge of that district. But, I mean, these counties are just plagued with like drug problem. Mm-hmm. There's an epidemic. And of course, it's across the nation, but it's really awful in these like kind of poor areas. You know?
That's crazy.
I know.
That even we beat Chattanooga.
Yeah.
That's honestly so sad, too.
I know. But. And anecdotally, working and seeing the people come through the Eastern District of Tennessee, like in the courthouse, is just gut-wrenching to see all of these people. And just to know that, like, some of them did, like, that's what their parents were doing. You know, mm-hmm. They just did not
That's all they've known.
Yeah. There was not an easy way out. And the amount of willpower it would take to take yourself out of that situation is just like unimaginable.
And if you don't have the resources, then you really don't have the option.
Yeah.
Colin and I were talking when we were in Savannah because he went maybe 2 years ago. And where we were staying, there was like several homeless people, like in the squares and stuff. And we were just talking about, you know, like the influx of homelessness and stuff like that. And I was like, granted, I was a child and wasn't looking for that stuff, but I do not remember it being a fraction of what it is now. The amount of homeless and like drug epidemics that there are, it is so heartbreaking because, I mean, it makes you feel a little bit unsafe just because people like approach you and ask for stuff and you don't know like how ill their intentions are or what not, but I don't know, it's crazy just how rapidly, and you see all the videos of like streets in California where every square inch of the sidewalk is taken by people who just are simply homeless and on drugs. It's so sad. And it's sad that there's not enough resources, and then the resources that are there, people really have to be willing to make a difference. And if they can't, and it's honestly a mental disorder to be an addict. And I think there's just not understanding on both sides because this is a topic that could go on for years and years and years. But yeah, it's honestly so heartbreaking.
It is.
And I've had to deal with, just in this past week, like addicts at my job. And it's so heartbreaking when they like want help and everyone in their life is just still so mad at them, even though they're trying. And no one's at fault. I mean, there is fault, but it's just so hard because the communication between both sides is so hairy.
And it's just so sad because you make a bad decision once or twice or 3 times, and then you can't get out of it.
I was about to say, and sometimes all it takes is trying it one time, and you're stuck for the rest of your life.
And sometimes they were fed it when they were in 7th grade, or, you know, or even 20. Like, that's so young.
Or you were born from an addict, and automatically you have to go through withdrawals as a 1-day-old baby.
Yeah.
Which is so sad.
Just the fact that this is like unimaginable to us is we are so blessed and lucky and privileged and all of those things.
But also what is so sad is like every single family has someone that is an addict. It's crazy.
It is.
It's beyond, and there's just not enough resources like healthcare wise. There's definitely not. So
in court the other day, one of the lawyers was giving just some statistics to show how serious fentanyl alone is in Tennessee. And in 2023, more people died from specifically fentanyl overdoses. This might just be in East Tennessee. Specifically fentanyl overdoses than in car wrecks.
I believe it.
And we think of car wrecks as like a common way to die, you know?
Yeah. No, I 1000% believe that.
It's so sad.
It is very, very sad.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell your story?
Yeah, so I need to actually try to find the girl on TikTok so I can give her credit. Oh, oops. I want to give her credit because she has a couple more stories, I think. Similar to this one. So, yeah, here she is.
I hope you can hear the... What bug is that? Is that cicadas outside?
Maybe.
I feel like the cicadas are the ones that go...
That's almost like what a coyote sounds.
Yeah.
Her name is Chelsea Ruhl, Ruhl. And she's a home health nurse in the Appalachian Mountains, which terrifying.
Yeah.
She's like, these homes are so remote, you go on side quests to get to where you're trying to go. So she was saying that she had to go to this person's home. It was the first visit, so it was kind of like an admission visit. And she said it was very, very remote drive, and she said that she usually doesn't have cell service, so she just kind of has to pay attention to her drive to remember how to get back. So she pulls up to this home. There's a barn, an old car, a man standing there fixing it, and then the house is a little bit further back. And she said she got out, she heard someone yell, "Hello?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm coming. Gotta get my stuff." So she walks in, goes up to the front porch, and there's this lady there. And she goes in, and they're starting their assessment, which is basically just a bunch of questions to like get to know the patient and build their profile. And she was asking, who do you live with? And she said, "I live by myself." And the girl was a little bit taken aback. She's like, "No one lives here?" And she's like, "No, just me." And the nurse was like, "Well, I saw a man out there working on the car." And the woman immediately said something around the lines of like, "It's here?" Question mark. And she's like, immediately I was like, what's here? And the old lady was like, "You need to go. It's going to rain really bad. And the road will flood. And you won't be able to get out." It's like telling her she needed to get out of there. And she's like, "It's okay. Like, we're almost done. Like, we're about done with our assessment." And she's like, "No, if it rains, you won't be able to leave." And she's like, "I'll make you a sandwich and then you have to go." And she's like, "Okay, like, whatever." So she makes her a sandwich, gives it to her in a bag. And she said that when she went, it was kind of like early afternoon. Well, when she walked outside, it was pitch black. Like it was nighttime. And she was obviously beyond freaked out at that point because it was the middle of the afternoon. So she is walking to her car, and she says that there is someone walking parallel to her the entire time she's walking to her car. She obviously gets in immediately, and she says that on her way back, like driving back, the drive was like doubled the time. Like she did not know where she was. Like it was a whole different place. And then she went under like a tunnel kind of thing, and she said it was very confined, and on the other end it was daytime.
What?
Yeah. Almost like that woman was like telling her like, if they're here, you've got to go.
Absolutely not.
If it rains, you'll get stuck here.
I will be having nightmares tonight.
Yeah. After I listened to that, I was like, first of all, I could never be a home health nurse. Never. But like, it just got me thinking about all the horror stories of the Appalachian Mountains.
I turned on a podcast today about like a paranormal activity thing that happened in Appalachia. Middle of the day, I was literally on my lunch. Couldn't listen to it. I was too freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, people could be just making this crap up, but if they're not, yeah.
It's so scary.
If it rains, you'll be stuck here. She's like, "There's not a rain cloud in the sky. I just drove here." She's like, "No, it's coming." I was like, "Ah!" I said, "Take your sandwich and run, honey."
What state was that in? Do you know?
Hold on.
Let's ask her.
Unlock your phone. She really just says all her tags are like Appalachia.
Okay. That is so crazy.
Yeah. It was beyond terrifying. I'm trying to find the exact one that she makes a lot of what she's getting views, so she makes a lot of TikToks about.
You know that like being a home health nurse would be insane. Going into all of these little desolate hollers and valleys and stuff.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to see if there was any comments that kind of feed into it, saying like their families, because on the original one it was like, oh, this happened to my family member too, similar things. So
that's crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling goosebumps.
Yeah. I'd rather not. Oh, I think this is it actually. Is it out there? Yeah, people are like, why did you stay there?
Is it out there?
This one says, as someone born and raised in these mountains, the sandwich was to let the one outside know you were off limits to harm and let you leave. You can't find the road again because it wasn't meant for you to find it without an invitation. Welcome to the Appalachian Mountains.
That's terrifying. I feel like people are being dramatic, but I don't care. I'm still terrified. Terrified.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, I'm never leaving my house again. But then I'm like, my house isn't really even safe enough.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
This person also said people believe all the lore and magic from the Scottish Highlands. Yeah. Have you heard about that? Not realizing that the Appalachian Mountains are part of the same chain.
Because of Pangea, yeah.
I don't know all the Scottish Highlands.
But like lore. The Scottish Highlands...
That's someone just said the Appalachian Mountains have existed since Pangea.
Yeah.
When all the continents were together.
The oldest mountains in the world, yeah. Which is insane.
Oh my goodness.
There are a few more little things that I wanted to share that we've always heard our whole lives that are like bad omens. The most typical, stereotypical one is a black cat crossing the road. I feel like everyone knows that one. My dad said I had never heard this, but he said if a black cat crosses your path, you have to spit in your hat to undo it. Have you heard that?
No.
I've always heard 3 X's in the corner of the windshield.
I've heard the X's one. Mm-hmm. That happened to my mom. A black cat crossed the road, and she wasn't buckled up, and she's like, I should probably buckle up. And then they got in a car wreck.
No way.
Yep.
So it was a warning to her.
Yeah.
It was a good thing.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, that's the wreck where her Jeep flipped like 3 times, or the Jeep she was in, and she like broke ribs and stuff. Yeah, it was a very bad wreck.
I feel like black cats cross my path a lot, but I've just decided that for me, it's good luck.
Yeah.
Or like a warning.
You love cats. So.
I do, especially black cats.
And yeah.
I have a black cat who's the sweetest in the world. Unless you're a hummingbird. She will eat you. Other than that, I've heard that if a rocking chair is rocking with, have you heard this? If a rocking chair is rocking with no one in it, it's a bad omen that someone in your family is about to die.
Really?
Have you heard that?
I've heard something about a rocking chair, but I couldn't remember.
I think there are several of those. I saw one on the internet. I had never heard this, but if you put shoes on a table, it's bad luck and someone in your family is going to die. I've heard that, there's like the old wives' tales, like you can't do
You're not supposed to like do laundry on
or clean
New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. You'll wash someone out of your life.
Yes, that's what I've always heard too. Yeah.
My family actually lives by that.
We do too. We do not do laundry on New Year's Day.
No.
Or Old Christmas, which is like January 6th or something.
Maybe. Sometimes it's just fun to go along with these things, just in case.
It is. And also, a day without laundry is...
yeah.
It's a happy day, in my opinion. There were some more... Oh, I don't know if this is common. Tell me if you know about... I just said it before we came in here. But if you're handed a pocket knife and it's open, whoever opened the pocket knife has to be the one to close it.
I haven't heard that one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard that. I don't know. I think it's just like bad luck. Like if you are handed it unopened, then you have to close it back before you hand it back. I've always heard that. But it's not safety because a lot of, like, honestly, more often than not, whoever's pocket knife it is, they will open it and then hand it to you to open your Christmas present or whatever, and you have to hand it back opened. My family has always done that.
I never closed the pocket knife.
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I have
bad juju following me.
Maybe you do. When we were growing up, we would always say, if you break a mirror, you have bad luck for 7 years. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I've heard that one too. I'm trying to also, like, just simple, if someone, which I just did to you, sweeps under your feet, you'll never get married.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a living proof that one's not true.
True.
I've had people sweep under my feet.
Maybe it's like you won't be married your whole life.
Maybe.
I wish I could do a good gulp sound.
Someone commented on this girl's picture, TikTok. I live in the Appalachian Mountains. My dog will bark sometimes. I think he wants to go out, and before I can put my hand on the doorknob, it will open on its own. No one is there, no reason for it to open. It actually happened today. Oh, heck no.
I hate this.
Yeah.
This is actually so freaky. Oh, I want to say another reason we wanted to do this is because it's sort of getting... You've been talking about how hot it was in Savannah. It's been a little chilly here.
Yeah,
it has much cooler than usual. It almost feels like spooky season.
It does. And I think that's why I also wanted to do this episode, because I'm feeling spooked.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Getting you guys ready. Target and Walmart are selling fall items, and we are doing a spooky episode.
Yeah. Have you tried the witch's brew this year?
I have. Is it different? Witch's brew?
No, just,
I've been looking for a witch's brew. I haven't been able to find
Me either.
One. Have you tried the pumpkin?
I can't find it.
Yeah, me neither.
People aren't supplying this.
I heard that there were some in Rogersville Walmart, and I went and looked, and they weren't there.
Yeah, I heard there was some in Food City.
Okay.
None. I was just there today.
There was one more bad omen. Let me see my phone for a second. I made a list.
Sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole on that girl's comments.
Oh, that's okay.
We were going to talk about also the seventh son of the seventh son.
Yes.
Which, honestly, we can kind of attest, because my family knows... He's actually a distant relative. And my mama has seen even as a child. So this is saying you have to be the seventh son of a seventh son. And they have...
special powers.
Powers, almost. And my mama remembers... I think it was her cousin. That's who it is, yeah. Even as a child, like, families bringing their children to him, even though he was a child, if they had, like, the whooping cough. Or
warts.
Yeah.
He could heal warts. The seventh son of the seventh son.
If they had a cough, he would blow in their face, and then if he had a wart, sometimes he would touch them. And my dad's friend, actually, that is staying with us this weekend, he healed one of his warts.
Apparently, her dad was just saying he didn't actually touch the warts. He just said, the seventh son of the seventh son said to the boy who had warts, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Don't touch her for 2 weeks and your warts will go away." And he was like, "What? No, like, I can hold her hand." And he was like, "Don't touch her and your warts will go away." So I was like, okay, I'll try it. Didn't have warts again until he was, like, fully an adult.
I vaguely remember I had a wart when I was little, and Dad was like, "Oh, we just need to take you to go see him."
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I had never really heard that. I've heard of my parents talking about the seventh son of the seventh son, but I didn't really know anything about it. Apparently there was someone in Hancock County named Seven, or called Seven, because he was the seventh son of the seventh son. Apparently also, I didn't know this until today. I was asking my parents about anything they knew about this junk, and Dad said that one of the old attorneys that he knows, his father never knew his own father, so this guy's grandfather. And apparently, if that happens, if your father dies after you're conceived, obviously, but before you're born, you have special powers. And people would always bring their babies to this guy when they had the whooping cough or whatever it's called. And he would breathe in their face, and it would apparently heal the whooping cough. And he said his dad always got tired of having to do it. Isn't that so?
It's like, can you not just give me a day off?
Yeah. I don't even know what you would call that. Not the seventh son of the seventh son. Guy who never knew his dad.
The talented and gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that we could honestly do so many parts to this.
I think so too.
If we really deep dive and find even just like specific stories of people. Reddit is probably eaten up with stuff like this.
Oh, yeah. I was looking a little bit, but there's just too much, honestly.
Yeah. It's also just kind of fun.
It's so fun to discuss.
To wonder. Yeah. To think. Could it be?
We love to think.
Heavy thinkers over here. Big thinkers. Big brains.
Big brains for real.
Big back, big brain.
It's just like always clocking to us, you know?
I'm on an internal clock here.
I'm a human clock.
Yeah. Direct quote, Chasey. I'm shipping JC and Chelsea.
If you guys haven't listened to What We Said podcast, what episode was that?
Stop listening to our podcast and listen
and
to
go
to talk on that.
That reminds me of a quote that they literally just said in one of their podcasts. The TikTok sound that's like, are there drugs in this house? I don't know, but if there are, find them and give them to me.
No, literally. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it all. I've got goosebumps. I'm tired. I'm afraid to go home.
Is there a shiver down your spine?
There indeed is a shiver.
Well, we'll pray for you.
Thanks.
Ooh. This is kind of getting me excited for Paul.
I need you to stop saying
but
that.
I don't want it. I need it to warm up again. I was like, okay, the joke's up.
I know.
The gag is done.
I went to lunch today and I was like, why can I leave my jacket on? This is crazy.
Why am I not sweating on every crevice?
Honestly, I was so cold in the courthouse. I want, in the summertime, wherever I live, I want to walk outside and instantly be warm in a split second because it's 97 degrees.
That's more than warm. That's blistering.
I know, but I like it.
I get it. Yes. I agree.
You understand me.
I get you. All right, guys. We hope that you enjoyed delving into these paranormal activities with us. Wishing you all safe sleeps, safe slumbers, safe travels, safety, and the Holy Spirit to be by your side every day. And we'll be back next week, as always. And we'll just see you then, okay? See ya. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.